What if I told you that there's proposed legislation right now to put the greatest president in this country's history on Mount Rushmore? hmm Remember this?
Every single president on Mount Rushmore. Now, here's what I do. I'd ask whether or not you think I will someday be on Mount Rushmore. But here's the problem. If I did it joking, totally joking, having fun, the fake news media will say he believes he should be on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's President Trump himself back in 2017, years before anybody had a idea or wrote a word about putting him on the monument. And now by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what this bill says, why I think he's earned it, and what the political resistance is, including the media, and what they're saying about it this weekend as they go absolutely bonkers over the holiday. Before we do, please like the video, share it, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the J.R. Majewski Show.
Is that JR? Yes. But we love you, JR. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. This guy, he's a genius. Thank you, JR. Really nice.
Folks, Congressman Paulina Luna out of Florida turned this idea into legislation through H.R. 792. It's a bill that would direct the Department of Interior and Secretary Burgum to arrange the carving of President Trump onto Mount Rushmore, right next to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. Now, right now, it doesn't have a sponsor, okay, or a co-sponsor. But look, I don't think that's the real story here. The real story, and what the Democrats are screaming about, is does he deserve it? I think he does, and I'm sure you'd agree. And I'm not saying that as a talking point. I'm saying that because I watched this man all risk his life for this country multiple times. He's ended wars that other presidents couldn't even touch. He's created peace in the Middle East. And look, we've watched him secure the border, a border that Washington told us for 20 years couldn't be secured. We've watched him sign over $70 billion for ICE. Okay? Mount Rushmore was never built to just honor nice guys. It was built to honor presidents who changed the direction of the country. Now, I would challenge anyone to explain what president in the last 50 years has changed this country's trajectory more than Donald Trump in a positive direction. Okay, a bill with 0 co-sponsors this early isn't dead like the media would like you to believe. Members don't sign on to something like this until there's a real reason to do so. And after this weekend, that reason is going to be building. Trump was just at Rushmore yesterday for the 250th birthday of this country. And the White House is already saying publicly there's no better addition to Mount Rushmore than Trump. Okay? That's the administration on record before a single House Republican has even signed the paperwork. And that's exactly how these things start turning.
Oh, I'm sure that may come up, no question about it. Doing that would actually take an act of Congress. There's been some talk of that being stalled. And quite frankly, I spoke to locals around here, conservationists, also local members of the National Park Service, who just say simply there's not enough room. And I will note that behind me, next to George Washington right here, there's a patch of rock right next to him. That's where Thomas Jefferson's face used to be when they were originally building Mount Rushmore, but they determined that the rock was not good enough to carve into, so they kind of just patched over it and moved Thomas Jefferson to the other side of George Washington. So the rock out here in the Black Hills is finicky. I would say that this is probably a done deal the way it is right now. But if you notice all of this rock behind me, which looks like a quarry, that is actually chunks of rock from the original Six Grandfathers Mountain that was chipped away by Goodson Borglum and his team. Goodson Borglum was the designer who died in 1941, and it was his vision. And I'll leave you with this. He originally wanted to have all of the presidents behind me, the 4 presidents behind me, have full outfits and body uniforms going all the way down to their waist, going all the way down the mountain. But it was never finished, and people say they're glad because it looks beautiful the way it is.
Now, that's Fox's own reporter on the ground the same day the White House was talking this up. Now, he's speculative, That's a given. He works for Fox. Fox is owned by the Murdochs. The Murdochs don't like Trump. Okay. And while he's skeptical, and he's pointing out the obvious, we know Congress would have to write a bill. Okay. And that's why Anna Paulina Luna is getting it started. And look, this unfinished rock that he talks about. Okay. We know that story too. But this information stems from 1936 with studies. And in today's day, nearly 100 years later, we have a hell of a lot better technology, construction processes, engineering methods. We need to check to see if this can actually get done. Okay. And being cautious is not the same as saying it's impossible. There was a professional estimate from 2017. I believe it still exists. And it was from a stone carver who priced this out. It was a $64 million estimate with 180 workers that would take 4 years. But nobody covering the story is putting the number next to their speculations and their skepticism. It's just presented like, we can't do it. It's impossible. Blah, blah, blah. It's Trump. They just hate Trump. At the end of the day, it's because it's Trump. For the same reason, because it's Trump, I think it should happen. And if House Republicans want to deliver something real instead of just talking, this is something that they could do for a guy that's always done something for them. They should sign the bill, force a hearing, let real engineers study it, instead of just saying it can't happen or allowing the media to spin it out of control. The momentum for this is real. This country just turned 250 years old, and the president has put the United States back on the map after 4 years under Sleepy Joe Biden and every piece of turmoil this country went through. And yesterday, when Trump was standing at Mount Rushmore, you could feel it. You could feel it in the air. Now, my take, this bill will probably pick up some real co-sponsors within the year. Now, whether they'll get it carved, that's a separate question. But whether Congress is even willing to try is on them. And they have the control. They should try it, and they should try it now. Trump wanted this way before Washington cared enough to write a bill or say it was impossible. And he's worked very hard to get it. And Anna Paulina Luna just gave the vehicle. And it's on merit. The president has earned this conversation. So, look, here's what I want to know from you. Do you think Trump has earned a spot on Mount Rushmore? Should Congress actually push this bill forward or leave it exactly where it is? And if Washington can't pass something symbolic for a man who's elevated and restored this party, something that cost them nothing, what does that tell you about how serious they are about honoring him at all? And I'd ask, give me everything you got in the comments. Okay? And speaking of Congress, the bare minimum and what they do, Nancy Pelosi, her $51.7 million stock trades, well, we just exposed that in our last video. And President Trump is fighting after it. So if you missed that update, all you got to do is click the video right here because it's coming up. Have a happy 4th of July. God bless you. God bless America.